This is what happened to Blessing after borrowing a bag from Amina, her best friend. Let's watch to the end to find out what happened. Amina and Blessing were not just friends. They were sisters in everything but blood. They shared secrets. They shared dreams. They shared clothes. For 20 years, they had been inseparable. But envy is a silent killer. And sometimes, the person sleeping next to you is the one planning your destruction. When Blessing's hand began to rot, she had no idea why. The doctors couldn't explain it. But deep down, Blessing knew. The bag she borrowed from Amina wasn't just a bag. It was a trap. Amina and Blessing met when they were 7 years old. Blessing had fallen into a muddy puddle while chasing a ball. Her knee was bleeding. She was crying. Then a small hand reached down to help her up. It was Amina, holding a bag of oranges and smiling. "You're lucky it didn't hit your face," Amina said. "That's your best part." Blessing laughed through her tears. And from that day, they became best friends. They went to the same schools, sat next to each other in every class, studied together, played together, dreamed together. People called them the twins. They made promises under mango trees. They planned their futures together. Same university, same career, same wedding year. No matter what happens, Blessing once wrote in their shared journal, "We rise together." And for years, it felt true. But something was changing. In university, Blessing began to stand out. She was graceful without effort, beautiful without makeup, elegant even in old jeans. Lecturers noticed her. Boys stuttered when they spoke to her. Heads turned when she walked by. Amina noticed too. She never said anything. But a small, bitter question began to echo in her mind. Why her? Why not me? After graduation, they rented a small apartment together. 2 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 1 shared wardrobe. They cooked together, laughed together. But Amina was watching more than she was laughing. She noticed how men came asking for Blessing. She noticed the gifts that arrived. Perfumes, handbags, flowers. She noticed how Blessing turned down men that Amina would have died for. "He's not my type," Blessing would say casually. And Amina would smile. But inside, something dark was growing. Everything changed when Blessing met Chidi. He was calm, successful, kind. An entrepreneur who drove a white Lexus. He was obsessed with Blessing's gentleness. Within 2 weeks, he bought her a new phone. He brought groceries every weekend. He never came without flowers. Amina pretended to be happy. "He seems nice," she said one night. "He's more than nice," Blessing replied, blushing. That blush annoyed Amina more than she wanted to admit. Blessing didn't chase anything. Everything just came to her. Even at work, their boss smiled at Blessing more, gave her better clients. Meanwhile, Amina worked twice as hard and got half the recognition. Her phone stayed silent. Her inbox stayed empty. The gap widened every day. At church, the pastor said, "Be happy for others. Your time will come." But what if their time never ends? That Sunday, Amina stopped praying. She started planning. The breaking point came on a Thursday evening. Blessing walked into their apartment, beaming. "Chidi wants to meet my parents." Amina, drinking Gary at the table, froze. "Wow. That's serious." "I think he's the one, Amina." Amina smiled slowly. "I'm so happy for you." She even hugged her. But inside, something cracked wide open. That night, while Blessing slept, Amina sat on the balcony. She scrolled through her contact and stopped at a name she hadn't touched in years. Mama Ifinwa, spiritual help. She hesitated. Then tapped. "Good evening, Ma. Do you still help people with personal problems?" The reply came minutes later. Yes. If you're ready. But some parts have no U-turns. Amina stared at that message. Then typed, I'm ready. Mama, I feel was compound smelled like burnt wood and something rotten. An old woman with tired eyes opened the door. So you came? Amina nodded. I just want someone to stop shining so much. That's all. You're not the first to feel this way. But are you sure? Amina's voice dropped. She takes everything. Every good thing. Even now, she's about to marry a man who should have been looking at me. The woman studied her, then disappeared inside. When she returned, she handed Amina a small silver pin soaked in dark oil and wrapped in black cloth. Put this inside anything she will touch with her skin. It will find the most beautiful part of her and turn it black. It won't kill her. But it will make the world turn away. Amina's hand trembled. Will she know it's me? The woman smiled without warmth. Only if you tell her. That night, Blessing came home from the salon, laughing. Do you mind if I borrow one of your small bags tomorrow? Chidi is taking me to meet his cousin. Amina turned slowly. Sure. The brown one is in the top drawer. Blessing smiled and walked away. Amina sat still. She had placed the pin, wrapped in its oily cloth, inside the side pocket, hidden beneath an old hairband. The plan was in motion. The next morning, Blessing got dressed in a soft pink dress. Thanks for the bag, she said. I love how cute it is. As Blessing walked out, Amina whispered, let's see how perfect you are tomorrow. Blessing's day started like a dream. Chidi took her to a fancy restaurant. He talked about his dreams and how she fit into everything. He called her home. Her heart was full. But as she reached into the bag for her lip gloss, she felt it. A sharp stab. Or, she gasped. A small prick on her finger. No blood. Just a sting. Probably a pin, she muttered. But something had touched her that didn't belong in this world. By that night, her finger had turned red. By midnight, the swelling spread to her hand. The next morning, Blessing woke with a scream. Her hand had turned puffy, tight, and dark like bruised charcoal. Amina rushed in with fake panic. What happened? I don't know, Blessing cried. Look at it. They rushed to the hospital. The doctor examined it, confused. There's no infection. No cuts. No trauma. But it hurts, Blessing winced. Let's try anti-inflammatory medication. Amina sat beside her, holding her healthy hand with concerned eyes. But inside, dark satisfaction grew. It was working. Back home, Blessing couldn't sleep. The swelling didn't reduce. It got worse. Her knuckles turned black. The skin started peeling. She avoided mirrors. She avoided Chidi's calls. When he showed up 2 days later and saw her hand, he tried to be kind. Let's find better doctors. But she saw the discomfort in his eyes. At home, Amina brought her food. Helped with chores. Sat with her. Maybe it's a spiritual attack, Amina whispered one night. Some people don't like seeing others happy. Especially when they're close. Blessing shivered. The words felt like a warning. Or a confession. That night, Blessing had a dream. She was reaching into a bag. Amina's bag. When she pulled her hand out, it was covered in blood. Behind her, someone laughed. She woke up breathless. And for the first time since childhood, she was afraid of Amina. Days passed. Blessing's hand turned from red to dark gray. It looked burnt, yet there had been no fire. Even her wrist started darkening. One evening, Amina brought her soup. You need to eat. Blessing stared at the tray. Something in her stomach turned. Leave it. I'll eat later. After Amina left, Blessing picked up the food and poured it down the sink. Something deep in her spirit said, don't trust it. That night, Blessing searched for the bag she had borrowed. She found it in the trash. Shaking, she turned it inside out. Then she felt stickiness inside the side pocket lining. She cut it open with a knife. Inside was black cloth, damp and foul-smelling. Stuck to it was a tiny pin with dark oil. Her knees gave way. She dropped to the floor, trembling. Oh God. It was real. This was no accident. The person she trusted most had done this. The next afternoon, after another failed hospital visit, Blessing sat outside the gate, exhausted. An old woman in a faded wrapper sat beside her. They won't find what they are not trained to see, the woman said softly. Blessing blinked. Excuse me. Doctors treat what they understand. But this came from another place. A place close to you. The woman handed her a torn piece of paper. Go here before sunset. Don't tell anyone. Especially not the one who shares your roof. Who are you? Someone who once trusted too deeply. The woman walked away and vanished. Blessing arrived at the address before sunset. The area was eerily quiet. The house was small, painted dark cream. Inside, a bald man with pale eyes sat surrounded by bowls of dark water. You're late. I didn't know what to expect. No one ever does. Let me see it. Blessing unwrapped her hand. He placed a leaf on her palm. It shriveled instantly. It's not sickness. It's a curse. Carried through something you touched. A bag. He nodded. From someone who wanted your face forgotten. Tears filled her eyes. He rubbed thick paste on her hand, murmuring in an unknown language. Heat rose in her arm. Then cold. Then nothing. Her eyes grew heavy. She passed out. When she woke, the room was dark. The man was gone. Her hand was clean. The swelling was gone. The color had returned. Her skin was smooth. A woman entered quietly. He said, leave before sunrise. And remember, your light is back. But the one who tried to kill it is still watching. Blessing returned home at dawn. Amina was still asleep. She had been saved. But something inside her had changed. She no longer saw Amina as a sister. From that day, Blessing cooked her own food. Drank only what she poured. And watched Amina carefully. Amina noticed immediately. Blessing's hand was healed. Glowing. Soft. Perfect. She wasn't supposed to be fine. What did she do? Who helped her? That evening, Amina tried to ask. Your hand, it's healed. Yes. Just like that. Blessing smiled faintly. It's a journey I don't want to talk about. Inside, Amina's fire boiled. Days passed. Then Chidi returned with flowers. He held Blessing's hand again. They laughed. She glowed. That night, Amina sat in darkness. She picked up her phone and opened a contact with only a black heart emoji. I need it done. This time, permanent. Where and when? 2 days later, Blessing received a message. Come behind the old community hall at 6 p.m. I want to surprise you. Blessing read it slowly. She didn't reply. She whispered, I'm ready. And left alone. The old hall stood like a forgotten ghost. Blessing arrived early. At 6:07 p.m., 2 men appeared. One tall. One with a limp. They stopped when they saw her. Wait. Your Blessing. Yes. The shorter one stepped closer, eyes wide. You helped my wife at the hospital. Paid her bills when I was stranded. He stepped back. I can't do this. We didn't know it was you. The taller one added, she didn't give us a name. Just said handle someone quickly. She. Blessing asked. Your friend. Said you take what belongs to her. That this was balancing the scale. Silence. Please be careful. There's more behind this. They left. Blessing stood still, the words echoing. Then she walked home. Straight into the truth. Blessing opened the door at 7 p.m. Amina sat on the sofa, pretending to scroll. A plate of jollof rice sat on the table. "You're back already?" "Yes." "Did you like the surprise?" "You mean the two men you sent to kill me?" Amina froze. The phone slipped. "What are you talking about?" "The men who recognized me. The one whose wife I helped. The one who said you sent them." The smile cracked. Amina stood, chest heaving. "Why do you always win? Every man wants you. Every job favors you. Even your sickness couldn't stay. So you tried to kill me?" "Not kill. Remove. Let people finally see me. We were supposed to be sisters. You outgrew me." The door burst open. Two police officers entered with the two men. "Amina Okoro, you're under arrest for conspiracy and attempted murder." She backed away, tears forming. "No. She ruined my life." "You ruined your own," Blessing whispered. They cuffed her. "He would have loved me," Amina said as they dragged her out. "Chidi would have picked me if you weren't in the way." The door closed. Silence. Safe silence. 1 year later, Blessing stood at her balcony. Married. Glowing. Pregnant with twins. Chidi sat inside, humming, setting up the baby room. Peace lived in her now. She never visited Amina in prison. But she had things. That Amina stopped eating. Rarely spoke. Stared at walls. 3 years in, Blessing got a call. "She's gone." Found lifeless in her cell. Blessing didn't cry. She sat on the floor. Sad. For the memory of a girl who once lifted her from a puddle. "You were supposed to be my sister," she whispered. Then she stood. And walked into her future. Envy grows in silence until it kills everything, including the one who carries it. Amina's jealousy didn't stop Blessing's light. It only darkened her own soul. Not every smiling face is safe. Betrayal doesn't always come from enemies. Sometimes it sleeps under the same roof. Kindness plants invisible protection. The good Blessing did return to shield her. Pay attention to patterns, not words. Blessing survived because she watched with her eyes, not her heart. Trying to dim someone else's light will never make yours shine. Amina wanted Blessing's blessings but didn't know her battles. She lost herself chasing what was never hers. Forgiveness doesn't always mean friendship. Blessing forgave but never let the snake return. Your destiny cannot be buried unless you bury it yourself. Thank you for watching.
My name is Joseph, and I share African stories and folk tales that carry deep lessons. If you enjoyed this story, please click the subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe, stay wise. Bye-bye.